Hi, this is Murray from Second Time Tech, and today I'm going to be talking about the reason why I'm switching from my Behringer UMC404HD back to a mixer. And the mixer that I decided on getting is the X1204 USB. Now, the reasoning why that I'm doing this is because this unit here, in the last little while, has only been giving me left channel audio until I figured out how to change it in my video editing software in order to get two channels out. Not my last video, but the 4 previous videos from that. I was only getting left channel audio and I didn't even know it. I only found out whenever I put on a headset and I was testing out a headset. So it was quite a surprise to me, and because I didn't feel like I had changed anything, I don't know what had happened. I figured a workaround, and I did get, on my last video, I did get stereo audio coming out, like equal volume at a left and right channel. But I didn't like the fact that it did that, and I don't know why it did that. And I don't, like I said, I don't remember doing anything different. When I was using the Q1002 USB, the small mixer that I had before, I had this audio interface, comparing it to it, and I like this audio interface better for the DAC and for the noise level of the preamps, but I didn't like it for the fact that it was only like left channel from this, right channel from this input, and then left, and then right again. And I was having a hard time trying to get it to be a stereo from one input. Well, I watched a video, several videos actually, and figured out how to do it. But for some reason, it stopped doing it, and I don't know why. Like I said, again, third time, I don't understand why it stopped doing what I wanted it to do. So I decided, instead of playing around with this, because I've been missing my target dates for my videos, because I do want to put one up on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. That was what my target was, and I missed actually 2 of them. And I figured if that's what's happening because this piece of equipment wasn't working the way I wanted it to, or as easy as I wanted it to work, then it would be better to go back to having a mixer that I know is putting out the stereo channel the whole time, and I'm not going to have a problem with my voice being on both channels. Now, that's why, like I said, I decided to get this one. And the reason why I decided to get this one was, before the Q1002 USB, it was a small mixer, and it didn't have faders, and it didn't have a mute button, and like on each channel, and it didn't have a few other features that this one has on it. And if you remember from before, I had a Behringer, I think it was an FX1622 USB, if I'm not mistaken. And if it wasn't an FX, it was just an X1622 USB. And it was huge, and it had so many things on it, and I didn't need that much stuff. Even this has a couple of things that I don't need on it, but the vast majority of things that are on here is what I want. And I'll just lift it up here just a little bit so as you can see. What it has is, it has a mute switch on each channel. Now what this one does on the mute switch on this one is it changes it from the main out, which is here, it switches it to the 3/4 out. So you can actually use this as a mute, or you can use it as a switch that changes it over to the 3/4 out if you want to send signals, different signals from the main to the 3/4, if you want to be able to to listen to different channels or different things happening on different channels, like through your headphones, as opposed to what you're putting out on your mains to go out onto your video or something to that effect. Now, the other thing that I really liked about this one compared to now I'm comparing this right now just to the Q1002 USB. It has much more LEDs on it, so it's much easier to be able to do the gain adjustment on it to make sure that it's correct and not clipping. So that helps on there. And another thing that it has is what's called a solo button. And what a solo button does is it allows you to just pick one channel and stops the rest of the channels from coming out of the main. So you're just listening to whatever is pushed in on the solo. Now you can push more than one solo button in. You can push this solo button in here and this one over here, and then not have this, or this going out that way. So it does have, like I say, varying ways to do things on it, which I do like. This one has effects on it, whereas the smaller one didn't. And the other thing that it has is it has 4 mic inputs as opposed to having 2 mic inputs, plus 2 stereo inputs also. So that's nice too. I like that, because I might want 3 microphones, because now I actually own 3 microphones. I own a lavalier mic, a desk mic, and then my boom mic. Well, it's not really a boom mic, but I've got my arm mic, I guess I should say, my desk arm mic. So comparing it to that one, this one's better. It's more expensive than it, but it was better. But now if I compare it to the larger unit that I had, which was, let's say it was I think it was actually the X1204 USB. It's way smaller in size. And it doesn't have a whole bunch of different options here, because it doesn't have a subgroup out other than 3/4. It doesn't have like a 1/2 and then a 3/4, which the other one did have. And the other thing that it had a different type mute system, where it just muted the channel. It didn't actually send it over to a different channel. It just muted it altogether. The other thing that it had was it had a variable mid-range, which to me, I don't do music or anything like that. I'm just doing voice, so I don't really need to have that. So it made it smaller, has less channels, and this portion here is a little bit smaller than the other one because it's a shorter unit. But other than that, it's pretty close to it. But this was quite a bit less expensive than what the X1622 is. And it is a fair bit more expensive than the Q1002 USB. And it's more than the audio interface here. What is it called? UMC404HD. But comparing it to that, this puts out the way I want it to put the stuff out all the time. It doesn't have as good a DAC on it. But what I plan on doing later is taking the mains out on this one, which is on the back. There are 2 XLR outputs for the mains, And what I'm going to do is you can buy a smaller version of this, which is a 202 or a 204 HD. And I'm going to get one of those because it only has 2 inputs. And then I can connect my mains out, connected to the inputs here, XLR to XLR, and then use a small amount of the Zenny for gain, and use the Midas preamps here so that it'll have less noise on it. And then because this has a better DAC, then I'm going to do that. The reason why I'm not keeping this one and then hooking this up to it is because the 2-channel one, which is the only thing that I need is 2 channels, is about $80 less expensive than this one. So I don't need this. And right now, I don't need to have the 2-channel one because I'm going to use this the way it is until I can get the one that I want for a good price. So that's basically what I'm going to have for now. Anyway, that's the information that I wanted to tell you today. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to get more content like this. I do want to wish everybody a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Bye.